You know, I've always been interested in playing other BlazBlue games instead of just BB Tag, which is mostly considered a spin-off by the community and even by the creators themselves. So, I thought to myself in June of 2021, what other BlazBlue game should I try? Should I buy BlazBlue Central Fiction, which during the making of this video was confirmed to have rollback netcode along with BB Tag? Apparently not, because I decided to buy BlazBlue Calamity Trigger instead. BBCT was the first BlazBlue game released in 2008 and was released on arcades, consoles, PSP, and PC. It was a really well-received game, spawning the franchise into what we know today. Anyways, when I booted up the game for the first time, I was surprised to see that the game ran at 30 FPS, as I'm pretty sure most, if not all, fighting games run at 60. But I thought to myself, it's from 2008, and it was the first game in the series, so I guess it's just something I'll have to get used to. So I go ahead and get into training mode, pick Ragna, and start a match, and the game plays like trash. I know in a video the game probably looks completely fine, but playing it is a whole other story, because this game does not function correctly at 30 FPS. Pretty much any input you push has a significant delay or a super small window to execute it, or else it just won't come out. And I tried with different controllers and even a keyboard. You ever tried playing a fighting game on a keyboard? So I know the game's not supposed to run at 30 FPS, because if you look up gameplay online, it's in 60, so I tried reinstalling the game, and then when I launched it, I had the exact same issue. You know what else was a bad experience? Recording the game. Sometimes the game would record fine using OBS, but sometimes it would just mess up completely, giving me footage such as this. After the awful experience I had with this game, I wanted to see if anyone else had the same frame rate issues I was having. And it turns out, I'm not the only one. There are forum posts and Steam discussions saying that their games have the exact same issue, and the most common solution being to reinstall the game, which I did, and as you can guess, did not fix any of the issues. At this point, I know it has to do with the game itself, so I decided to do some research on the BBCT wiki, and I think I found my answer. Like I said before, the game was released in 2008 in arcades, then it was released in 2009 for Xbox 360 and PS3, then there was a PSP release in 2010, and then there was a release on Windows Live in Europe and Japan only in late 2010, and then there was a worldwide release for the Windows Store in 2013, and then the final Steam release in 2014. So that's 3 separate versions of BBCT on PC. Now the 2010 PC release is a direct port of the 2009 Xbox release, and then that version was ported to Steam in 2014 and was stripped of features found in the Windows Live version, including multiplayer. So, that solves it. When the Steam version was ported over from the Windows version, it lost several features and possibly created a bad frame rate issue. And that's the answer I went with. It was only when I started to edit the first version of this video that I realized something. But before I get into what that was, can I mention the varying box arts for this game? The Xbox and PS3 versions are pretty standard, the only different one being the limited edition box art, which is extremely empty, but I still think it looks pretty good. Then when the PSP came out, they made this new cover, which kind of reminds me of something from Kingdom Hearts, and is my personal favorite out of them all. Now the ones I just showed you were from the US and Japan, because the EU versions had their own art created. The first one coming from Windows Live, which has Noelle in a completely different art style than the other ones, as well as a completely different font than the one that's normally used. It's not terrible, but why is there such a radical change from the other versions? And then there's the EU PSP version, which has Ragna and Noelle. This is probably my least favorite art out of them all, as Noelle just looks really weird in this version, and Ragna's just kind of standing there in the back. If you took Ragna out, you could probably convince me this was like a stealth game or something. Alright, so what was that thing I realized? Well, remember when I mentioned that there were forum posts and Steam discussions mentioning this issue? There are forum posts and Steam discussions saying that their games have the exact same issue. Well, the Steam one was from this year, but the one on GameFAQs was actually posted on September 17th, 2010 at 11:32:59 a.m. I was probably at elementary school when that was posted, but more importantly, this shows that it's not just the Steam port that has this issue, but quite possibly all the PC ports have this issue. So that's the story of BlazBlue Calamity Trigger's bad PC ports, a series of one port to another with the final Steam release being the worst one. Well, I guess Calamity Trigger will rot away in my Steam library. I'll check out Central Fiction one day with its new rollback, but that's going to be it for this video. If you enjoyed, sub for more, and take care.